It's Tuesday, February 17th, 2026, and you're listening to Cast. Also, apparently, it's President's Day, Random Act of Kindness Day, and National Cabbage Day. So yeah, do something nice for someone and then hand them a cabbage like a chaotic good NPC. I'm Hunter.
I'm Riley, and I just want to say, if you do hand me a cabbage, I'm blocking you on every platform. Also, quick disclaimer, this episode was assembled by a little swarm of automation gremlins. If we suddenly sound like we're broadcasting from inside a toaster, that's the experiment.
Today's big plot. Open models are putting real pressure on the whole ecosystem. Alibaba launches Qwen 3.5 with open weights. There's a mysterious Aurora Alpha model floating on OpenRouter that people claim is like weirdly strong and free. And then we've got Kani TTS 2, an open voice cloning model that reportedly runs on about 3 gigs of VRAM. That's a lot.
It's like the AI world is doing that TikTok trend where somebody keeps opening doors inside doors. You're like, why is there a model behind the model behind the model?
Exactly. Let's start with Qwen 3.5. The vibe is next-gen foundation for agents and multimodal. And whenever I hear that, I translate it into, can it actually use tools without face planting?
Wait, define trust it with in marketing land. Like, are we letting it post? Are we letting it touch the ad account? Because that's how you end up crying in a Slack channel at midnight.
Great line. The first agentic workflow I'd trust it with is what I call pre-flight ops. So it reads your brief, pulls your past campaign performance, checks your brand guardrails, drafts variations, and then packages recommendations for a human to approve.
So it's like an assistant who lays everything out on the table but doesn't get to touch the stove.
Exactly. It can also do content repurposing with receipts, like take a long webinar, summarize into a thread, pull quote cards, and generate a shot list for short form. But the brittle part is still the last mile, where you're interacting with real systems. Tool calling is good until it hits weird edge cases, permissions, rate limits, or it confidently fixes the wrong thing.
Also, multimodal gets marketed like it's magic eyes, but half the time it's like, I can see your screenshot, and then it invents a button that does not exist.
Yep. And that's where benchmarks get misleading. Marketers see a chart and think it's a revenue forecast.
Say it louder. Benchmarks are not pipeline.
The most misleading ones are the clean room tests that don't resemble your messy reality. Like, it solved a math puzzle does not mean it will rewrite your landing page without breaking compliance. Or it aced a coding eval does not mean it will ship an integration that won't silently drop events.
I swear people treat leaderboard scores like astrology. Oh, you're a 92nd percentile in reasoning, so you're going to be great at my Shopify theme.
Exactly. The real test is, can it follow your brand system, handle your data shapes, and recover when it fails? Like, does it say, hey, I can't access that, here's what I need, or does it hallucinate a success state?
Okay, but I'm going to challenge you. Everyone's like open source first, no lock-in. But isn't it just moving the lock-in? Like, congrats, you're now locked into GPUs, hosting bills, and the one engineer who knows how the pipeline works.
That's the trade. Open weights reduce vendor lock-in on the model layer, but you pick up infra lock-in. You need a deployment path, observability, prompt and tool versioning, and some governance.
And a therapist.
But open gets you options. You can run it where you want, you can fine-tune or rag it without begging permission, and you can build repeatable automations that aren't at the mercy of sudden pricing changes.
Which is funny because, hello Aurora Alpha, the stealth model that just pops up like, hey bestie, I'm free.
Yeah, Aurora Alpha is the spicy one. It showed up on OpenRouter with basically mystery branding, and the chatter is strong for coding and free. I would not treat no limits as a promise, though. Free access and rate limits can change.
Whenever the internet says no limits, I hear there is a limit, and it's going to be your dignity.
Also, there's a big catch people miss on OpenRouter. Whether prompts and completions get stored can depend on settings and the specific provider behind the model. So if you're a sane organization, you do not throw customer data into the mystery box.
Minimum due diligence checklist. Go. Like, if I'm a scrappy creator, I'm tempted. If I'm a brand, I'm scared.
Okay, minimum due diligence for stealth or unbranded models. First, treat it as public. No secrets, no customer identifiers, no ad account tokens, no API keys. Second, verify data handling. Is prompt.completion logging enabled for your account and that model route? Can you opt out? Third, run it in a sandbox with synthetic tasks. Fourth, monitor outputs for weirdness, like it returning code that phones home. Fifth, have a kill switch in your automation so it can't keep running when it goes off rails.
I love the kill switch, because otherwise you wake up and your agent has generated 200 new thought leadership posts about cabbage diplomacy.
National Cabbage Day synergy.
Stop. But here's the bigger point. If Aurora Alpha is even close to premium coding models at basically zero cost, that changes how teams build automations. We're going to see more prototypes, more microtools, more "I built this in an afternoon" energy.
Innovation and chaos, both. The good part is you can build internal tools like landing page generators, analytics validators, UTM auditors, and content pipeline glue code without sweating token spend.
The bad part is Shadow IT goes absolutely feral. Every intern becomes a wizard and also a risk vector.
Which is why open models like Qwen 3.5 are interesting for companies that want control plus capability. You can keep it inside your walls if you do the work.
Okay, audio. Kani TTS 2. Voice cloning on a tiny footprint is kind of huge.
It is. It's an open source TTS model and voice cloning is listed as a supported feature. And if it really runs around 3 gigs of VRAM, that means a lot more people can run local or on cheap hardware. For creators and marketers, the realistic non-creepy use case is rapid voiceover iteration for your own voice or a clearly licensed brand voice talent.
Like A/B testing audio ads without booking a studio every time you change one line.
Exactly. Or localization where you keep consistent pacing and pronunciation but you're transparent about it. The line brands will accidentally cross is cloning someone without consent or making it sound like a real employee endorsing something they didn't.
Or doing the CEO voice says the discount is ending thing. Absolutely not.
And governance matters. Watermarking, authentication, and policy. Even if the tech isn't perfect yet, teams can build process store-approved voice prints, require approvals, log every generation, and keep a public-facing disclosure stance.
Also, I saw chatter about more controllable generative audio, like process control as an EQ model. Even if the exact paper title is floating around, the idea is exciting. Not just make it happy, but control like tone, pacing, clarity, sibilance, maybe even mic distance vibes.
That's the dream. Because right now, a lot of TTS control is like yelling emotions into the void. If we get real control knobs, audio becomes a proper creative pipeline, not a slot machine.
Speaking of slot machines, can we do quick ecosystem whiplash? Unity teased an AI game creator where you describe a game and it spits out playable casual games, which is insane for creators.
Yeah, prompt to playable is a wild workflow shift. Unity's CEO has talked about an upgraded Unity AI assistant in the editor that can generate full casual games from prompts, with a beta expected to be shown at GDC 2026. It's like templates became interactive. And for marketers, that's campaign activations, mini-games, lead magnets, all faster.
And then Meta is out here patenting digital clones for the deceased, which is, I don't know, Black Mirror as a service?
Meta did get a patent describing AI that could simulate an absent or deceased user's social media behavior based on their past activity. But important caveat, a patent doesn't mean it's shipping, and reports note Meta says it doesn't have immediate plans to build it.
That's a reminder that capability is accelerating faster than norms. The same voice cloning tech we're hyped about for ads can get dark fast if we don't lead responsibly. Meanwhile, the internet is remixing Anton Chigurh into AI brain rot memes. So on one side, existential digital afterlife. On the other, Anton Chigurh explains skibbity toilet lore.
The duality of generative AI.
Net though, with Qwen 3.5 for agents, Aurora Alpha putting price pressure on coding, and Kani TTS 2 making voice cheap, what job in marketing ops changes first?
Campaign production ops. The people stitching together briefs, variants, assets, tracking, and QA. That becomes an orchestrated system. Humans set intent and taste, machines do throughput and checking.
And what refuses to automate?
Final creative direction. Taste, brand risk calls, and strategy. You can automate drafts all day, but should we run this is still human.
Thank goodness. I like being employed.
Same. All right, that's it for today's CoeCast. Thanks for hanging with us on President's Day, Random Act of Kindness Day, and yes, National Cabbage Day.
Go be kind, don't be creepy with voice cloning, and please do not paste your customer list into a mysterious free model because the vibes felt good.
Subscribe if you want more of this chaos, and check out coe.com/resources for AI news and updates.
Catch you next time. And Hunter?
Yeah.
No cabbages in my DMs.
Noted.